Hey everybody, this is Nick Kraus, and this is my professional counseling skills video blog. So, the three sessions that we watched were pretty much exactly as I imagined counseling to be. I mean, I've been to counseling a couple times, but the one thing that really jumped out to me in watching the videos and reading, especially chapter 8, was the whole idea of the depth that people go into these sessions with. So, if I've always figured if you have at least some sort of like confidence going in, so the confident depth going in, you're going to have some sort of breakthrough, some sort of connection, and the willingness to participate goes a really long way. So I saw that with pretty much with all three of the sessions that we watched. So they were all very engaging and pretty much met my expectations of as to why. So in our readings, the skills that we have that we read about and the counselor characteristics, I noticed that pretty much every single one of them used open-ended questions and gave reflections of feelings and meetings very often. That they always ended with a summary, and they used very few closed questions. And if they did, it was always followed with an open-ended question and encouragers to do so. So one of the quotes in the book really jumped out at me was clients tend to appreciate counselors for their skill and experience and are more willing to participate in counseling when they're treating with respect, understanding, and as an intelligent person. And I felt like every single one of the counselors in these videos did so with their clients. So the differences and similarities that I noticed between the three counselors. The first one, the brainstorming one, it was so short and quick that it was really hard to gauge how the full session went. But every time the counselor spoke, the first was like the summary. He summarized it all for context for us to understand, basically. And then there was a reflection of feeling and another summary. But he kept it neutral with his client when he was trying to work through all of the stuff they were talking about, which I thought was cool. So the counselor in Homesick leaned what I perceived was a non-directive approach in her interaction with the client. She didn't lie. She didn't project too much on. There was a lot of checking her own understanding of the client and situation, and she used attentive silence very well, which I thought was really cool. The counselor in dancing or helping, from my perspective, seemed to be a lot more directive in his approach. It's not that he was necessarily like forcing her down a path and showing her exactly what was going on, but it seemed like he was in charge of the situation and understood he didn't have very many. Well, there was a lot of open-ended questions, but there wasn't a lot of summaries from him. A lot of it was just moving her to the next point to figure out a train of thought, in a sense. So the whole idea of that actually reminded me of countertransference of myself, of just like, why am I viewing all of these completely different, and is it something inside of me, which I thought was a really cool idea. So I've been kind of like exploring that on my own time. But I thought he was very empathetic, and every single one of them paid attention really well, which I thought was really cool, and displayed very good listening skills and were really respectful towards their clients. So that was my summary and what I saw.